Your career built you a résumé. It never got around to building you. And by the time you notice the difference, the résumé is the only part you can still describe. Watch it happen in real time. Ask someone who they are, and they'll tell you what they do. The title, the company, the years. That's not who they are. It's a self that quietly stopped being built somewhere back there. I spent more than 15 years in rooms full of sharp, accomplished people who couldn't answer the question without their job title. I was one of them. None of this happens by accident, and it isn't your fault. You picked a path early, or it picked you, and it came feeling like a gift, a prepared answer to one of the hardest questions there is. Who am I? You didn't have to wonder who you were. The career handed you a version, and you got rewarded for taking it, immediately, and over and over. Raises, praise. So you never noticed the question had been answered for you before you got the chance to answer it yourself. There's a name in psychology for this: identity foreclosure. It means committing to an identity without ever exploring who else you might have been. You didn't arrive at yourself. You accepted a self early and closed the file. It feels like being in your mid-30s and realizing that everything true about you, how you spend a Tuesday, what you're proud of, what you'd say if a stranger asked what you actually care about, traces back to a job you took in your early 20s. Maybe you already tried to fix this, and it's worth seeing why it didn't work. You changed companies keeping the same title, or just pressed harder on the pedal. More hours, more output, more being the one who delivers. But it didn't feel different because the self stayed the same. Year over year, your career built the résumé, carefully, an impressive document. But the résumé is a record of what you did for them. It is not a record of who you are. And if you poured all your building energy into the first one, there's a real chance the second one is mostly untapped, a self you never got around to developing. Because you were busy, because excellence is loud, and it drowned out the quieter thing that was supposed to be forming underneath it. From my own experience, for a long time, if you'd asked me who I was, I'd have handed you my function. I was fluent in my own résumé and nearly illiterate in myself. And the strange part is that it felt like a strength, like I was too serious a person to waste time on questions like that. I'd mistaken having no answer for being above the question. Now the harder thing, the one you might already feel coming. You weren't only trapped in this. Part of you preferred it that way. And you have to see how, or nothing changes. A settled identity is comfortable, maybe the most comfortable thing there is. It means you always know who to be, at the dinner party, on the form, in your own head at 6 a.m. Not knowing, being genuinely open about who you are and what you want, is one of the most uncomfortable states a person can sit in. So when the career offered you a fixed answer, some part of you didn't just accept it, it grabbed it, or never thought to doubt it. Not from weakness, from relief. And the better you got at the role, the more unthinkable it became to doubt it, because now it wasn't just your job. It was the one thing about yourself you were completely sure of. You didn't just get handed an identity, you defended it, and you called that defense focus. Or maybe you genuinely loved the work. That's real, and it's harder to see, because that is exactly what stops you from ever checking whether it was yours or just good. A thing can be good and still not be you. So here's the part that changes it. There's a lie available here, and I won't tell it. I can't give you back the person you would have become on a road you actually chose. That version doesn't exist. The years are real, and they're spent. But here's what's still true, and it's the whole thing. The old self is closed, and the next one isn't. You can't recover who you'd have been. You can absolutely stop doing what made you lose it in the first place. That part is still yours. It's been yours the entire time. Here's where you might freeze, though. Maybe you already got quiet enough once to see the path wasn't yours. If so, good. That's the hard part. But seeing that the old self is wrong and knowing who you are instead are two different things. You get the clarity, you confirm the path isn't yours, and then you find there's nothing underneath it. A blank so frightening it makes you sprint straight back into the resume, because a wrong self you know beats a right self you can't find. The blank isn't a defect. Psychologists call it a moratorium, the protected stretch where identity forms, the exploration you skipped in your 20s because the career was already answering for you. And you don't get through it by quitting your job. You get through it in stillness, not to see the problem. You've already seen it. Stillness as the only place quiet enough that, underneath the noise, one small true thing about what you'd actually choose can surface. Not a revelation, just a preference. Then another. That is an identity reassembling in real time. This isn't about becoming calmer. Right now, you're building real things, a career, a reputation, expertise people pay for. But you're building all of it in a direction you never actually chose, the direction the job handed you in your 20s. So you succeed at the wrong thing, and one day you have to tear it down and start over, having spent your best earning years chasing a version of success that was never yours. This is the most expensive mistake a capable person can make. When the direction is yours, the money you earn funds a life you want, instead of one you're quietly planning to escape. You put your effort behind work you won't walk away from, not into funding a life you'll want to quit. That's the real return here. Not peace, but capital that compounds in a direction you won't abandon. Everything you build on a chosen foundation keeps paying you. Everything you build on a borrowed one, you pay for twice, once to build it and again to escape it. Your career built your resume. Your job is to build yourself. And the one thing no title, no company, no younger version of you can take is which one you spend the next decade actually building.